What's the shadiest thing you've seen happen in a military courtroom? I was a paralegal specialist at Fort Bragg in 2015. My job was taking notes during court-martial proceedings. Mostly boring stuff. Administrative separations, minor theft cases, the occasional assault charge. Then came the case against Staff Sergeant Brendan Caldwell. Guy was accused of stealing night vision equipment worth $80,000. Serious charges. Looking at 10 years in Leavenworth if convicted. The evidence seems solid. Serial numbers matched. Caldwell's fingerprints on the storage container. Security footage showing him in the supply room at 2 in the morning. But something felt wrong from the start. Caldwell maintained his innocence. Said he was being set up. His defense attorney was this captain named Pierce Donovan. Sharp guy. Asked good questions, but you could tell he was worried. The prosecution's star witness was Sergeant First Class Wade Holbrook. Supply NCO who discovered the missing equipment. Clean record, 20 years in, 3 deployments. Guy looks like Captain America. Confident, polished, perfect testimony. Holbrook walked through his story. How he noticed discrepancies in the inventory, reviewed security footage, found Caldwell's fingerprints. Everything lined up perfectly, too perfectly. During cross-examination, Captain Donovan asked about the storage container. Sergeant Holbrook, you said the container was locked when you discovered it? Yes, sir. Deadbolt was engaged. And only 2 people had keys to that lock? Correct. Myself and Staff Sergeant Caldwell. Donovan nodded slowly. So if the container was locked, how did you access it to discover the missing equipment? Holbrook didn't miss a beat. I used my key, sir. Your key. The same key you're saying Staff Sergeant Caldwell must have used to steal the equipment? Objection. The prosecutor jumped in. Argumentative. The judge sustained it. But I saw something. Just for a second. Holbrook's left hand twitched, moved toward his pocket, then stopped. Captain Donovan saw it too. Your Honor, I'd like to request a recess to examine physical evidence. The judge looked annoyed, but granted it. 15-minute break. I followed Donovan outside. He was on his phone, talking fast to someone. When he hung up, he looked at me. You saw that hand movement, right? I nodded. Went for his pocket. Call Sergeant Holbrook back here. Tell him the judge wants to verify his key for the record. That wasn't true. The judge hadn't asked for anything, but I did it anyway. Holbrook came into the hallway looking irritated. Donovan held out his hand. Sergeant, need to see that storage container key for evidence documentation. Holbrook reached into his pocket, pulled out a key ring, but his fingers fumbled. The keys slipped and hit the floor. 3 keys fell out. Standard issue storage container keys. All 3 identical. Donovan picked them up slowly. Sergeant, you said only 2 keys existed for that container. Holbrook's face went white. I must have picked up the spare. There was no spare. The inventory logs show only 2 keys were ever issued. 1 to you, 1 to Caldwell. So where did this 3rd key come from? Long silence. You could hear the air conditioning humming. I want my attorney, Holbrook finally said. The trial resumed an hour later. Holbrook invoked his 5th Amendment rights, refused to answer any more questions. Turned out Holbrook had been running a theft ring for 2 years. Had duplicate keys made for multiple storage containers, would steal equipment, sell it on the black market, then frame junior soldiers when inventory came up short. He'd chosen Caldwell because the kid had been written up once for being late to formation. Made him look unreliable. Perfect scapegoat. The case against Caldwell was dismissed immediately. Holbrook got arrested on the spot. CID found evidence of 12 other thefts. Equipment worth over $1 million. But here's the shady part. The prosecutor, Major Garrett Strickland, had known something was wrong. One of the investigators told me later that Strickland had received an anonymous tip about Holbrook weeks before the trial. The tip claimed Holbrook was dirty, provided details about the theft ring. Strickland ignored it, pushed forward with charging Caldwell anyway. Why? Because Strickland was up for promotion to lieutenant colonel. Needed a conviction on his record. High-value theft case looked good on paper. Didn't matter if he was prosecuting an innocent man. After Holbrook's arrest, Strickland tried to take credit for exposing the corruption. Told his superiors he'd suspected Holbrook all along. Said the trial was part of his strategy to draw out the real criminal. Complete lie. Captain Donovan filed a formal complaint. Detailed how Strickland had withheld evidence and ignored investigative leads. Military prosecutors have immunity from most consequences, but the complaint got attention. Strickland didn't get his promotion. Got quietly transferred to a desk job in Alaska. Holbrook got 15 years in Leavenworth. Dishonorable discharge. Lost his pension. Caldwell got promoted to Sergeant First Class 2 years later. Last I heard, he's running the supply operations for an entire brigade. Does inventory checks personally. Trusts nobody. Captain Donovan made Major, then Lieutenant Colonel. Now he's a military judge himself. First thing he did was implement new rules requiring prosecutors to disclose all investigative leads, even anonymous ones. That 3rd key is in a display case at the JAG school now. They use it to teach new lawyers about the importance of paying attention to small details. And me? I learned that the shadiest thing in a military courtroom isn't always the person on trial.